This is MJ. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an analyzer. You can find all my work at mjmunoz.com. Welcome to Grobug Tales. Welcome to Story Over Everything, episode 41, where I am talking about and doing the readings for Grobug Tales, chapter 11, session 3, I guess I'll call it. So I have finally started building my buffer, which I will talk about more in the reflections section after you hear the snippets of a story that I was able to come up with in my 10-minute writing sessions over the week of October 28th through November 3rd. And yeah, that sounds a little funny because this is publishing November 10th, and why would I say, or possibly November 11th, we'll see what happens in post-production. And, you know, why would I publish something that I wrote before at this time now? Well, because I think the buffer is an important thing to do, and I think offsetting and saving my time and using it more wisely is something I definitely need to do. It's something I've been talking about for a while, and here we are. My 10-minute writing session for October 28th, 2023 is in Grobug Tales Chapter 11, and it goes like this. But what am I going to do? I don't have anything to me the way Watch Your Hum does. But I have to do something. I don't think she can keep this up much longer. Think. Yes! Quiver worried for a moment that he had been too loud, but realized the sounds of fighting were far more loud than him. He watched them again to work out the timing and approach that would give him the best chance to do the most good. Quiver concentrated and grasped the nest where it was tied together. He knew the binding would hold the entire nest together while he did his maneuver. The hide nests were designed to withstand nudging and even being crashed into. The clever construction fascinated him, and he had asked Grunt a lot of questions about how the structures held together, and what kinds of stress they were able to handle. I'll need to get the timing right on this. I doubt I'll get another shot at this. From up above the fighting, Quiver held the hide nest above, and carefully considered the best target. The higher he went, the more damage it would do, but the better chance there was of missing the mock wings altogether. That took 10 minutes to write, and it was 209 words. Okay, my 10-minute writing session for October 29, 2023 took 10 minutes to write, and I wrote 79 words, and it goes a little bit like this. So let me just center this thing. Hey, I need 2 or 3 minutes. Lose, guide my mark. Quiver dropped the hiding nest and pivoted to look down. It grazed one invader and redirected into a direct hit on a second, knocking him out of the battle. He whooped triumphantly, and several pairs of eyes snapped at him. Hum laughed. The grazed enemy bolted to meet Quiver. Uh-oh. Quiver darted behind the nearest tree for cover. The night was still long, and he hoped the shadows would be enough to hide him. Again, that took 10 minutes to write, and it was 79 words, and my 10-minute writing session for October 30th, 2023 reads thus. Chirp snapped from her daze. She felt a sharp pain cut through her consciousness. I'm okay now. Glimmer asked. I'm okay. I can keep up on my own. Chirp removed the hold Glimmer's radiant arm had on her to pull her along with the fleeing Grobugs. Very well. Glimmer released her. When we meet camp again, remember to talk to me if you feel up to it. I will, if I make it back. That took 10 minutes to write, and it was 75 words. My 10-minute writing session for October 31st, 2023 reads thus. Chirp turned to leave. Shush noticed and made a beeline for her. Is everything all right, Cadet? Yes, I understand, Chirp. It's what we must do. Take heart, child. We will persist. A fresh bout of blubbering and wailing broke out from the front end of the caravan. Shush turned to see who it was. I'll check back on you soon, then turned back. You're one of the toughest Grobugs I've ever met. You'll be fine. Shush rushed off to attend to the others. Am I really that tough? If I am, what am I doing here? I should be there with Quiver and watch her hum. It's my fault she's in trouble, and Quiver is too timid to do what he needs to do. What would Quiver do if he wanted to break away from the group? That took me 10 minutes to write, and it was 139 words. My 10-minute writing session for November 1st, 2023 reads like this. He would go along as long as possible and then just slip away. So that's what I'll do when the time is right. Chirp made her way back to the fight as quickly as she could. She slowed once she heard the din of battle. As she drew closer, she was surprised to see Hum fighting 3 Mockwings. Hadn't there only been 3 before? Were these the same ones? They couldn't be. There was a 4th one flying around a tree on the outskirts of the canopy. She was distracted from the battle by the strange behavior of the attacker. What was it after? Then she saw it. A flash of light here. Then wings and shadow. Then another flash. Yes, it was Quiver. He was hiding from one of the monstrous birds, and the bird was chasing after him. No surprise he's hiding. I'd probably be doing the same, alone against one of them. Hum looks okay for now, but Quiver needs my help. Maybe we can help Hum once we're done beating that thing. That took me 10 minutes to write, approximately. I messed up my recording, but I think it was 10 minutes, and it was 176 words. My 10-minute writing session for November 2nd, 2023, which is my 11th foray into... it's my 20th foray into Chapter 11 of Grobug Tales, reads thus. Chirp burst out from behind the leaves and charged at the Mockwing that pursued him. It flinched as he sparked and shone brightly, dashing towards its face. It jerked away and crashed into a bow it hadn't been able to see. Am I really going to do this? Chirp pivoted and pursued his pursuer. Light arms grabbed at leaves and twigs, ripping them from the branches, and he cast them at the bird. No good. Between his meager strength, the lightness of the floor, and the size of the bird, it was not an effective strategy. Chirp blazed towards the Mockwing, hooping and hollering as she did. It actually turned and gawked at her for a few moments before she bashed through it. Chirp! You were great. So were you. Naturally. We need to go help Hum. I know. I saw her when I... Chirp was cut off by a twisted echo of her battle cry. That took me 12 minutes to write, and it was 154 words.
November 3rd. Did not write.
So I hope you folks enjoyed hearing those. If you want to hear the full context, each of those I actually recorded a little bit of commentary for. If not right after I wrote it, then shortly thereafter. And I think it's interesting, and I think you might find it to be interesting. You can find those on YouTube or on TikTok as shorts, and I might even be able to put them on Facebook if they're short enough on the Reels section, but those will be found. The Facebook page is Story Over Everything. You can look it up. I'll have to link it. I'll have to start linking it in my show notes. And everything else will be linked there as well for you to find the full thing and hear the full context if you're interested in that. And if not, you can hear me typically doing some commentary on what I wrote as a whole, as I listen back to it as a whole. But this time, I'm not going to do that. I'm instead going to talk about this buffering thing. So, it's something I've talked about for a long time. Thank God I finally had the strength, the discipline, the wisdom, I don't know what, to go ahead and do it. And it is not as easy as I thought it was going to be. And I have a very busy schedule right now. And I thought I had basically figured everything out, but I surprised myself with how wrong I could be. And that's not a wonderful feeling. Honestly, I should have developed a system for buffering. Well, there's an argument. Part of me feels as if I should have developed a system for buffering so that I would have an easier time with doing the buffering. And now I'm pretty much at the point where, based on the fact that I have, I think, 5 or 6 other Harry Potter books that I've already recorded Skimming Leaves episodes for, and I'm not going to call him my friend, but I guess, internet buddy, Squall Charleston, who I did the Terror Valley Book 1 School's Out for Never. I did an interview and a review with him, and I'm planning on reading in a couple weeks. His second book in the Terror Valley series, You're Not My Sensei, is coming out, and I plan to read that and do a Skimming Leaves on it and do a separate interview with him for that. So little things like that are going to bump me out. Skimming Leaves are going to bump out and pad out my time, and that's great. And the interview, I think, with Squall, I'll do separately as well. I don't know, maybe I'll do a bonus thing and do 2 Story Over Everything episodes in a single week. That's not, ridiculous. But we'll just see how the timing works out. But I'm going to have that interrupt my Harry Potter books because I want to get his out in a timely fashion and whatever. That seems to make the most sense to me. But anyway, that's fine. But what I'm saying is those episodes, the Skimming Leaves episodes, at least, I think am I doing every other week? I don't know. I'm going to build up to it slowly. I might have them be every other week, which means that I'll be eventually pushing out my production on these story over everything, like, documentation sessions of my writing by a long time, and please God, I will keep to a consistent writing pace, and basically I'm hoping that the production behind the scenes stuff will still be coming out. I'd have to really think about this for a minute. Like, it's not a logarithmic function where I'll be 10 years ahead of myself. I'll be writing stuff or I'll be releasing books, and you'll hear 10 years later the behind the scenes for that. That doesn't make sense. I don't think that's ever. I don't think we're ever going to get to that point. But it should give me a healthy buffer if I have at least those 6 books. That I think it's 5 books. Then Squalls, that's 6, so that's 6 weeks worth. That'll bump me out. That's over time. It'll just grow and grow, and I think eventually I'll be at least a few months ahead of time in my actual writing. But that means that I'm going to have to develop and keep a system set up so that as I'm producing the content, I'm capturing it and I'm storing it and saving it and prepping it, maybe, and then scheduling it ahead of time to be saved and published. And I got to tell you, I've had a very difficult time with doing that and doing everything else I'm doing. And also I've started doing this 5 days a week, releasing, alternating. One day I'll release my 10-minute writing video, which is time condensed, and my 10-minute drawing video. And right now, the 10-minute writing and drawing videos that I'm releasing are not overlapping at all with these sessions. And actually, those are what I talked about. Those are on the YouTube channel, which is it's called Swinging Through Comics right now, but I think I'm going to change it to Story Over Everything, or just maybe MJ Munoz. Again, I'll have it all linked in the show notes. And, the videos will always point to wherever they, should point to. Ultimately, just come back to mjmunoz.com for all your needs. All your needs. Every single one of them. Anyway. So dumb. But so this week I published a few things. I'm on my second week because I began the first week of November, or the first day of November, which started on a Wednesday. So I did a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday publishing. Then I didn't do anything Saturday or Sunday. And then I did Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, just barely by the skin of my teeth. And I got something I'm going to have to work on producing and getting up the Friday, daily writing or reading thing. And that's cool, and I like it, and it's good, and I'm seeing a lot more views on the website. I'm seeing, it's funny, I created a little Facebook page that corresponds to the website, and everything published from mjmunoz.com goes there to the Story Over Everything Facebook page, but I'm a little confused because I'm not really seeing views or clicks on the page itself, but somehow I'm seeing almost every day a few clicks coming over to the blog from Facebook, and then just generally I'm getting a lot more visibility and a lot more views and visitors actually to mjmunoz.com. So I'm a little confused as to how all that's happening, but that stuff doesn't really matter if I'm not consistently making content, and I both mean the behind the scenes content that I'm kind of building my brand on, and the actual books that I need to be writing, the actual stories I need to be writing. So Grobug, the Grobug and the Kid books, which are books 1 through 5 in the Grobug Tales series, I guess, are they 1 through 5 or are they 2 through 6? Because it doesn't really matter. Because there are 6 books so far in the Grobug Tales series. Those are all done with an asterisk, and that asterisk is that I need to finish Grobug Tales Cadets in Crisis or Flight of the Mockwings, one of those two. I need to finish that book up 100%, go through it, edit it a little bit, revise it, clean things up, and then go through the 5 picture books and make sure everything's consistent and they all gel together, and then I can go ahead and release them. So, I do have a plan. I do have a good way to make things move forward. I'm still debating whether I should release the chapter book first or if I should release the picture books first. I kind of think I should do the chapter book first. That way it's out there, and then I can kind of use it and leverage it in in getting people's attention on the Grobug Tales picture books and in getting them published and kickstarted and all that good stuff for the art that I need to pay somebody for. And yeah, that probably makes more sense. Anyway, I have to balance the projects going forward into the future while also making sure that I build a habit of daily uploading and publishing the full writing or drawing sessions, which, just to clarify, like the writing sessions that you heard here, well, those are pulled from them. So I write for 10 minutes. I'm recording the actual process of my writing. I'm time-lapsing it, and I started doing this more recently after a couple weeks of doing it for, pretty consistently. I'm going to actually write it here. I'm going to take down, I'll record myself writing it. I'll record myself doing the word count and, typing all that stuff in. I condense that video, but I pause for a few seconds after I'm done with everything for the content part of it as far as the visuals are concerned. And then I will go back over that little snippet that I just wrote, 70 to 200 words or so, and I will read that, and then I will make my commentary on it, and then it's nice, I have one file that now has my B-roll footage, basically, which you won't see on the audio podcast, but you'll see, or the podcast at all, but you'll see in other formats. I have my B-roll footage, and then I can split the thing, drag it over, and put it in place so that I have then my audio commentary under it, which is wonderful, because that's one less file for me to grab. It's one less thing for me to store somewhere and have to pull, which is really cool. But yeah, I'm I'm doing it imperfectly, but I'm doing it. And as I'm doing it, I'm learning more, and I'm refining the way I'm doing things. And my thumbnails were a mess, and I've been publishing things out of order in the every other, this 5-day-a-week publishing schedule that I have, and it's kind of killing me. Both I don't like. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of extra work, but I think it's a good work. I think it's valuable. So that's good, but it's also the way that I'm doing it out of order and it's kind of janky is frustrating to me, but I got to get the work done. I got to get it out there, and it's okay if it's imperfect for now. I'm going to make it better, and it's all a process, and I would encourage anybody who's out there struggling with their, creative stuff to just make it and do it and work it out, and you're going to suck for a while. You're going to fail and stumble, and it's going to be ugly and a little embarrassing to you, but people won't care that much. You're your harshest critic, and I add a T at the end of a lot of words for some reason. Anyway, you are your harshest critic, and you're always going to be harder on yourself than other people, hopefully, if you're not a narcissist, and you just need to push through, and you need to have that ugly birthing process for yourself to become a better version of who you are. It's just, it's life. It's part of life. Anyway, that's all I have to say for now. Thank you for your time and attention. Until next time, folks, take care. This is MJ signing out. I hope you enjoyed that. Go to mjmunoz.com to leave any questions, comments, or other feedback you might have. There you can find all of my analysis, art, and fiction. I cover books, tokusatsu, comic books, anime, and more. Look around. You're sure to find something else that you'll enjoy as well. This has been a Story Over Everything production.